You are listening to The Sexual Life.
What is happening? TSL Podcast 145. This is the podcast on how to send a dick pic. So we did it. We get this question asked a lot. We hear a lot of people complain about this, and for all the right reasons, because a lot of people do it wrong. This podcast and the article related to it, which you have to read and also download that PDF, it's just going to be so beneficial. It's going to help your life in just so many ways. But we're going to break down how to do it in the right way and really in any situation, because a lot of the things that I saw, in fact, we made this awesome infographic, thesexuallife.com/145. Go there, check it out, and also go there to download our brand new quick guide on how to text message. But a lot of people talk about dick pics and like what to do, what not to do. This is just like what to do in any situation, how to make it work, coming from a vast amount of experience of guys doing it and just us coaching guys through doing it. It's pretty awesome. So the main reason why you need to go to thesexuallife.com/145 is not just to read the awesome article about this, breaking everything down, giving you examples of everything, not to look at the amazing infographic, which is funny as fuck, but it is to download the brand new quick guide, TSL Quick Guide, Getting Sexual with Text Messaging. You want that? You got to download it, man. It is everything you would ever need to know about text messaging, all in one awesome, amazing PDF. And we're going to make webinars about it and all this other stuff, sort of stuff. So go there and get that, thesexuallife.com/145. Now let's get into the podcast. Should I send a dick pic to a girl that I just met? This is the question that we hear over and over again, and we hear a lot of people harp on it, and it just sounds like a fucking terrible idea, right? It sounds like a terrible thing. I actually hear a lot of dating coaches that are going like, guys, never send a dick pic to a woman. Now, let me just tell you, because we're going to get into this very, very deep and into a lot of it. Guys who are giving that advice are listening too much to women, because let me just tell you this. Every single woman out there, she likes sex. Every single woman out there likes good sex. Every single heterosexual woman out there likes the dick that she likes and wants to see more of it. That is a fucking beautiful thing. And the coolest thing about that is that when you let a woman be a woman and let her be sexual, man, she goes crazy. It's so fucking cool because no guys know how to let her do that. Here's the problem. If a girl isn't asking for that pic, if it's done in the wrong way, if it's done where it makes her feel like an object or she's being used, she's going to feel bad about it. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of this, because I am somebody who is a fan of the dick pic. I think you can really piss people off with it. I think you can totally fuck up with it. But let's talk about like where it works, why it works, who you do it to, how do you recover from it, and all that sort of stuff. So pretty long podcast, but listen to it all. So first thing first, one of the most powerful things if you're talking to a woman, if you're interacting with her just at a bar or at a club, is if she can envision your dick, if she can visualize it, if she can see it, if she can start to build a relationship with it. And that is actually the most important part here. If she can build a relationship with how your dick feels, in fact, getting turned on and getting hard, dude, you will not get out of her mind. Now, let me just be clear about this. If you talk about your dick, or if you just show her your dick, or if you put her hand on your dick and you don't yet have her engagement in it, it's going to go bad for you. Very few women are just going to go, oh man, I randomly I was just talking to this guy and then he put my hand on his dick. That is going to piss some people off. Big time. Big time. A terrible thing. It's harassing, all that sort of stuff. Yet at the same time, I can't tell you how many times when I talked to somebody, built a little bit of rapport, and maybe said something like, and this is in previous podcasts, we were talking about logistics and sexual framing and SNL stuff. But one of the things was basically where we'd say something like, we'd be talking about anything and we'd just be like, man, I can't believe it. You totally turned me on. Fuck. And then let's say we grab our crotch for a second. We go, oh man, we check. We go, you totally turned me on. And then she checks and then I call her out on it. That's what I'm talking about, right? And it's kind of fun. It's in humor. It's not harassing. It's not objectifying. I know if some people listen to this, they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe you horrible person, you demon of chauvinism or whatever. But if I were to do that in a bar, there's so many times where I'd be like, oh, I can't believe you just, oh, fuck, man, I got to watch out. You're making me embarrass myself. And they look down at my crotch and I go, why did you just look? You looked and you liked it. Man, you like making guys hard. Fuck, well, whatever. I'm just going to stop talking to you. If you do things like that, these are little ways to see, some people may argue with this, but I did it so many times, and a lot of success in making feel good about their sexuality, where you can kind of dip your feet in the water to see if she is actually turned on or aroused at the fact that she may have gotten you aroused. All right? That's an awesome thing. And if I could get my dick in her mind, even without touching it, okay, so we're in the bar, our clothes are on. Her friend's over there. She's not going to go and suck my dick in the bathroom or whatever. I'm just working on building some sexual tension and talking to her. Man, I could very easily go like, oh my God, you fucking just made me drip. Can you fucking smell it? Jesus Christ. And I'd say something like that to get her to visualize, to imagine, to get sensory about how she was building a relationship with my dick, how she turned me on. Man, I could leave. I could not talk to her, for a week, and she would still remember me. She might think about other people. She may not obsess about me, but I would be so nailed in her head. And I knew that, or I learned that very early on, when women got in touch with that idea that they aroused you, that your dick was hard for them. And how many times, for guys who've had a lot of sex, how many times does a girl say, I want you to come for me? And if you could just understand what they're saying a little bit more, they're not saying just come for me. And especially there's a guy on here on week 11 and 12 of TSL Online where we're talking a lot about this. It's not just come for me. It's that I want my femininity to make your dick come in a way that you've never come before. That's really what's being said there. Okay. And so when I can start to build that relationship in a dialogue setting with a girl, man, key. So what did that tell me? That told me that the power of the dick was key. That it was so huge. Also, I remember way back when in 2005 or 2006, I remember watching Alexis K. Tyler, the YouTube sensation, Dick Will Make You Slap Somebody. And she would talk about dick. She would talk about it like crazy. Go, oh my God, you just imagine, that red hot, the player, the guy who has it. And she'd be going on and on about all this stuff that was just like, a lord of pussy or whatever she was saying. You could just sense the heat from his manhood in between his men. You go on and on about it. Whenever I'd watch that with a girl that I had sex with, they'd go, that is you. And I'd be like, that's not me. It's just because my dick had sex with them and made such an impact on them that they felt that, or they could sense that. And what I got from that is that women, when they had the opportunity to love dick and build a relationship with it and feel okay and safe with it, they did. They fucking absolutely did, right? It was just such an opportunity for them to do it. And I remember posting the Alexis K. Tyler board stuff on the pickup boards way back when in 2005 and 2006 and 7 maybe. Anyway, man, people were just like, this girl's annoying. She doesn't know shit. But as I got to know those instructors, dude, they weren't fucking any pussy, and they didn't. Anyway, it was a good. If you like that and if you got something from it, that's a good thing. Because man, she went into a bunch of stuff like the spirituality of sperm and how much the ejaculate and making a guy come was just such a huge thing. And so I took all that and was like, fuck, man, how can I talk about this? How can I get an experience before I had the opportunity to get naked with a girl? How could I get the experience to happen in an appropriate way where I wouldn't piss people off, or I'd piss as few people off as possible? And, really I like good sex, to bring the best sex out of a woman, to bring sex where she was having it that just felt good and was, made her want to come back for more. That's what I wanted. I didn't just want to fuck somebody and just brag to the dudes on the board. I mean, that gets old very, very quick. I wanted to fuck somebody and feel good about my dick. I wanted to fuck another girl and feel good about my dick. I wanted to fuck a girl, and every single girl to feel good about my dick and have that unique experience. Just like every woman wants to make you come with her femininity, I wanted them to come with my masculinity. I wanted to put that upon them. And it was very important for me to do it. And this is really where it gets the golden dick stuff that we talk about, that real sexual pleasing, comes from her building a relationship with your dick and your orgasm. Okay. So then cell phones start to, have pictures. They weren't really like happening then. I remember this one time I met this girl in a bar, built awesome rapport with her, awesome rapport. And I meant to send her a picture. I forget what, but it was like some comfort-based picture. But I was already taking pictures of my dick for other girls, and we'll get into how you should and what you should do, and what are some of the recommended techniques for sending dick pics. But if that is a thing, it should be a thing. More people should talk about this. But I was sending her a picture of something. It was something to build rapport, because I built mad rapport with this girl, and she was all passionate and shit. And I accidentally sent the wrong picture. It was a picture of my dick, and it was a picture of my dick that had already come. So there's like cum on my dick, and I'm like, whatever, blowing a load somewhere or something. And I was like, oh, sorry. And she was just like, oh my God, ha ha ha, you're one of those guys or something. And whenever you get that response, you're kind of embarrassed. And I was like, fuck, man, because when you send that sort of pic, it can tilt. There's a point where it's like, it's a point, right? So you send a picture like that, it's taking a big risk. And it's like you're waiting for it to teeter on which side is it going to be. And in that time, it did not go that well, or that girl didn't stay in contact with me. We still, I was able to like recover from it in like a whatever way. But anyway, so that being said, cell phones start to have cameras and all this sort of stuff. And we start hearing about these women getting dick pics from dudes, and some guys sending dick pics. And this all came about when I was in Vegas and I made friends with a bunch of female friends, which is an awesome thing to do. If you ever live in Vegas, you make friends with a bunch of chicks. They'll get you in every club. It's badass. But they would get dick pics from a ton of guys. They'd get dick pics from famous people. And why is that not a website? Because they'd meet some dude that's like a newscaster. Boom, dick pic right away. You just get numbers from these girls. Get a guy from the band, a guy from oh fuck, man, he wasn't even in the band, but it was Kings of Leon. He was in the instrument, or whatever. He's a hired musician for that band. Dick pic sent, dick pic sent. First thing they said, just spam out dick pics. It's like so many women must have dick pics of these guys, and they would be like, oh my God, this guy sent a dick pic, whatever. Or some of it would be funny or flattering, but somewhat inappropriate, or they wouldn't talk to him. And I couldn't wrap my head around the whole idea. I was like, man, it could work, but it just seems like an offensive thing, But then some of these girls would fuck these dudes. All right. So it was like, what? So they were kind of offended, not sure, kind of flattered, but thought it was a joke and wrote it off. But then they would fuck them. Then they would meet up with them, and they'd meet up with them, and they would be like, we're not going to fuck, or maybe we are going to, whatever it was. They're Vegas chicks. So they run that fast paced lifestyle game, and they'd have sex with them. And we'd be like, they said they didn't like it, but then they're going out and fucking these people. What the fuck is it? So my friend and I would talk about this, and he was a dude that had a big dick. All right. So I'm a dude that has an average dick. There's nothing special about my dick. And so he just right away, he like started texting. He'd meet them. And well, not right away. He didn't jump into it that quick, but he'd start texting people, and he kind of started off with the girls that he had already fucked. He'd be, look at this. Do you miss this? Or, say hello to my little friend or whatever. And the girls would go crazy. Now, these were girls that he already had sex with, that he hadn't had sex with in a couple months. Or he would, say something like, hey, I'm in the bathroom just thinking about you, and send a picture or whatever it was, And these girls would like jump at it. Now, some of these girls also would just be like, oh my God, you're an asshole or something like that. But he would still talk to him. All right. And this gets into we can't get too reactive with it. We have to brush it off. If we step over the line, the worst thing we could do is shame ourselves and get mad, because there's so many personal reasons for that, but also in a dynamic reason between you and somebody else. A true making things right doesn't involve shame. All right. And it doesn't involve humiliation. Right. So if a girl gets really upset with you, you don't have to be, oh my God, I'm such a terrible person. I bought into this, like I'm now one of those bad guys. I'm this close to being a rapist now, or whatever, or a pedophile because I said you're a dick. It's almost like society when there's sexual judgment, it always hits that hard. So don't buy into it. So he would just always dumb it down and chill out, just be, oh man, sorry, I thought it was funny. I guess I was wrong. And that worked out well for him, because then here's the cool thing. The next time you would hang out with that girl, the girl would be like, we're not sleeping together. Well, I'll go out with you, but we're not gonna fuck. We're not gonna do any of that. And then they would end up fucking. So it kind of put sex on the table, even though she was offended by it, and she still put herself in that situation. And it was just like, huh, man, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of interesting. So then, of course, I'm like, well, dude, if he's doing it, I'm going to go do it. And it was so funny because then you talk to all these other guys in Vegas who are doing it all the time because it's such a high. This is the other thing too with Vegas. You're running into so many people that a lot of the dudes that live there, and I'm talking about this is like 2009 or 2008 or something, that they would just be like, oh yeah, I send my dick pic. I sent it. And they actually had a lot that they would say about it. I'll tell you what I just started doing, but they would go like all into the art form of how they would do it. But I remember, I mean, everybody probably has a different way, but they would say like, I take it from an upward angle. So they go below and, I make sure it's hard as fuck. That's what you should always be doing. Man, make sure it's hard. Don't take some fucking half-assed, whatever dick pic thing. Fucking make it hard, man. Fucking hard as fuck. It matters more that it's hard as fuck than how big it is. I'll say that. And then I just, I meet a girl and I just send it to her, or something. And so they would do this. And of course, like girls that are partying in Vegas that are looking for that would jump at it. Girls that weren't, right? And they had that sort of volume, so it could work out that way. But I started doing it and I was like, man, what matters is that it's hard. And another thing that I would do is like I'd call girls up and we'd have phone sex or something, but we'd only met once in a club. Man, this is the old days when you had to have phone sex with people before you could send a dick pic. And they'd be like, oh, I want you to jerk off. I wish I could see you come. So I'd go, oh man, well, I can take a picture with my phone now. Back in 2007, 2008, these things were difficult to do. So I started doing that to the girls that I had some sort of rapport with. Or I'd be texting them and say, oh my God, I'm so hard for you. I'm fucking beating off. You made me go in a fucking Walmart bathroom and jerk off. And they'd be like, oh my God. And I'd really not be doing that. And then they'd be like, oh, geez, that's crazy. I'm like, I'm going to send you a picture. And they were like, send it to me. So I'd fucking send them a picture. And I was like, man, what if I sent them a picture like when I came? Like when I just fucking blew my load. So then I'd start doing that and they'd go fucking nuts. And again, because I knew how much women loved the act of making you orgasm, the territory they put over your cum. I'd do ones. I'd basically have stock ones on my phone that I didn't have to beat off all the time in a Walmart bathroom. I just did it once, twice. It's illegal. I would never do something like that. Man, it was one of the reasons why I like George Michael so much, because he did it in a Venice Beach bathroom and he got busted for it. It was like, that's the kind of man whose music I do want to listen to. Rest in peace. But I would send him a picture of that and it would just fucking set him off. It would set them off. And if you guys have heard the story, before I was ever good with women, when I was like 23, I hooked up with a girl and she was giving me all this resistance and I beat off in front of her. I said, I got to jerk off in the bathroom. She's like, do it in front of me. And then I came and she was like, let's fuck now. And I'm like, but I just came. But I realized how much the cum, the orgasm, like just put women in a primal mode that was just fucking nuts. Okay, so then my foot's a little bit more in the water of sending the dick pic. I feel a little bit more comfortable. Text first a little bit, this and that, whatever. Oh man, you're making me horny. Geez, you're saying that. That's fucking crazy. Like, and then just fucking jump, not even say like, do you want a picture of my dick? Just jump right to the like, this is what I did for you. Picture of my dick, still hard with cum. I was like, fuck, Jesus Christ. Oh man. So I was like, God damn, this is amazing. Now you start hearing more and more publicly. 2011, 12, you start hearing more publicly about guys sending dick pics and how inappropriate it is and women are offensive. And sure, and this is how we need to think about it. It's not that women are liars and it's not that women really just love dick pics. It's that they're telling the truth. There's a side of them that it's like, man, this is inappropriate. This is like fucking ridiculous. I just met you and you're sending me a dick pic? What the fuck? But there's a private side to them that if they knew that was for them, and they knew that it was special and that it was really to serve an experience of you guys connecting and that there was this sexual side, every woman would love it. And when you start to talk to women, and the more experience I had with women, sleeping with them, dating them, women actually wanted to hire me about sex, going, man, I just fucking loved it. I love making a guy's dick hard. That is a fucking cool. Like I'm working at a fucking restaurant and I could just tell a dude is turned on. And I was like, man, how is this? Okay, so a guy has a hard dick. Women in the public forum, in the magazines, on the TV shows, in the Facebook ad feed, this is bad. Like guys shouldn't be sexually turned on by women. But then there's women who are normal girls or women really into feminism going like, God, it's just awesome when I make a fucking hot guy's dick hard. Or it's awesome when I make a nerdy guy's dick hard. It's awesome when I walk by and like, oh, it's there. And then he has to learn to chase me. And it's like, oh man, how is this making sense? Like, let me try and wrap my head around this in guy language. You know, how can I make this is something that men can do? All right. And so I start thinking about this stuff. And I remember when I first started in pickup and I'd be like, oh, you just said something that fucking made me embarrassed. Like, Jesus God, you're fucking turning me. Why are you looking at my dick? You just looked at my dick. Like when I realized that women loved this, they loved this, but they had to have the power. They had to have the choice. We talked about this a lot when we were talking about the SNLs and sexual framing and getting sexual and all this sort of stuff. But man, like, if a woman knew that that was for her, God, fucking beautiful. And if a woman gave me resistance on it, if I had that little play beforehand, okay, if a woman gave me resistance on it and I bought into her drama about it, that would be bad. So let's put this in perspective. Let's say I text somebody, I go, man, I'm fucking turned on. Jesus Christ. And she's like, oh, really? Where are you at? And it's like, I'm walking around the mall and I have this like bulge in my pants because I smelled some perfume that reminded me of you. She'll be like, oh, ha, 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 ha. And then let's say the next picture I go, I'm in the bathroom right now. I just want to show you. And I just fucking like have my dick in my hand or whatever, take a picture. And it's like, see what you do to me, or I love you this much, or whatever it is. Right. And let's say then she's like, hey, that's fucked up, or I get the silent treatment or whatever. At that point, because there was that play beforehand, that play of like, God, you're turning me on or whatever, that little bit of like, texting that I buffered it with, making it a sexual interaction that she enjoyed, but somehow the dick pic steps over the line. I'd be like, if I got silence after that, it would be like, man, sorry if it went over the line, but there's no shame in how I feel about you. Or I would call it out. Like, look, if you're offended by that, I get it, but I'm not offended at my dick and showing how I feel for you. Like, I would really, really try and put that out there. If she sent me something like that's inappropriate, it would be like, look, I'm not trying to be, and I would speak to it, because what is she really saying with that? And that's what we got to look at. You do this with everybody. I'm a slut. You think that I'm that easy. You whatever. When I'm actually sending it as a compliment to her. So you gotta put that in perspective. Like, if you get called out on it, you go like, man, and you did do that little foreplay beforehand. That to me, I think is important. We'll get to when it goes south with just being brazen with it, because there's technique to that too. But if I had that exchange like, oh, you're turning me on, you want to see, or something like that, or you don't even need to say you want to see, and you just send it, and they're like, why would you say that? Just say, hey, look, if you think I'm sending this to offend you or objectify you, no. I'm sending it as a compliment of that's what you do to me. And I think that's hot. You don't? Cool. Like, I'm going to call that out, because it's not what I'm communicating. I'm not communicating. So I'm not just apologizing. Okay. And there's a little bit of that. Like, I am sorry if I am offending somebody, but it wasn't ever meant to be offensive. It was meant as a compliment. It was meant that your femininity is awesome. And it was a personal message to you. And I get that you think it's inappropriate where you're from, but look, I was proud to send that to you. And you don't need to explain all that. You can explain it in a sentence. But if I'm proud of something, if somebody calls me out on it, like, hey, look, I didn't mean it that way. I was actually proud of it. And that's all right. So I guess we can stop talking or whatever. I'll push it away. I think that's important. How it's being interpreted is like, this is a tool to objectify me. This is a tool to... No, it's a tool of sexuality to get you open up. That I'm not just sending to everybody. I'm sending it because I want to see the real you. And actually, I'll even say this. When I would have pictures in my phone already of my dick and just send them to him, it wasn't just to fucking, treat her like some sort of animal. It was because all of the dialogue we are having right now about what you're doing with your hair or what you want to do on Saturday night or all this other bullshit is bullshit. It's not the real you. I want the real you. I want the real you. I want the sexual side of you. I want the emotional side of you. I want all of that. And so when I have that, It's much easier to have a dialogue about something personal. But when I'm having this like superficial, like I met you in the club or at the bar or at whatever, thing happening, like, man, that's like, we reward in this society bullshit. We reward spam. We reward people who have an excuse for not showing what they really feel. And that's why sex is such an important metaphor for us, because when we're actually naked and having sex, we have to be ourselves or the sex is bad. And the sad part is we have such a society that promotes this artificial behavior over and over and over again that so many of us now have bad sex. We don't even know how to be in the thing that we were born to be. That's fucking crazy, man. Think about what we made sex. We made it an article to sell something. We made it a point of power so that you could feel like a man again. We made it a point of criticism so that you could feel like a woman again. That's fucking horrible. And we wonder why we get so caught up in bullshit. God damn, man, we can't even be our own person in front of another human being. We have to be an image, an archetype, and all that other sort of stuff. Philosophy and wisdom in the dick pic setting. But anyway, that all being said, so you can recover from it, especially if you baited before. And I would always bait before. But check this out. I wouldn't always bait before. Okay, but when I started out and when I normally do it, I'd bait before. And what I mean by baiting is, like I said, it's like, oh man, you're turning me on. Jesus. I'm walking around embarrassed. Fuck, I'm wearing these jeans and like my dick's hard right now thinking about you and it's rubbing it. Oh, it's painful. Say stuff like that over text, right? I get this response. And I like it over text because text is personal. Even if they're with a group of friends, they're reading it right there alone. It's a one-on-one conversation. So let's just say if you spam people with a dick pic. Different scenario, but equally good. So of all the big time players I know, of all the guys that are really sexually active, they'll do something like this. Okay. They'll do something that is really shocking. Okay. So they'll do something that just slaps somebody in the face. Okay. So they meet somebody and it's like, hey, Mandy, what's your number? Cool. I'll hit you up later. They go, let's say they're at the bar, the club, they go off, they talk to somebody and they're like, what's up, Mandy? And they send a picture of their dick. And it's a picture of their hard dick. It's not a picture of some medium, flaccid, whatever. It's a fucking picture of their dick. And it should make you look good. Doesn't need to be a big dick, be average dick. It just needs to be a hard dick. Okay? So, and they'll be like, what the fuck? So here's the interesting thing about this. Everybody is like, what the fuck? Anybody gets a pic like that, they're like, what the fuck? And then the guy texts back. He's like, oh, sorry. I got a bad sense of humor. Blah, 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 blah. So he says right off the bat, something sexual. This is why this is a guy that's good with women. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do this with everybody, but there's guys that do this. There's my friend. He hits people up on Tinder. And he's like, I give, I won't say his job, but he's like, I give advice for a living. Let's trade for sex. That's his first message, and it makes it sexual right away. Probably 9 out of 10 of the people get offended by that. But the 1 out of 10 that responds, they will fuck him. And the reason why is it starts off sexual. Now, if he were a little bit better at some other stuff, he could recover over that. Or if he worded it maybe in a different way where more people responded, he could get something out of it. But I know whenever I send something shocking as my first text, dude, I do really well. In fact, I do better than almost anything else. Now, I don't send that to everybody because whatever. Now, a lot of people also write that off as my personality. So let's say I meet somebody. And I said, oh man, yeah, it's cool talking to you. I meet him in a restaurant. Say I meet him at the club. Does not matter. First thing I send, and this is the important thing. It's the first thing I send. The first thing I send is something shocking and offensive. It's not that I already talked to them for 2 weeks. It's not that, and this is how you'll fuck up the dick pics if you know somebody and you're talking to them for a long time. That's how you screw it up. If you already had sex with them, that's cool. But somebody that you've built some rapport with and your dialogue's about something separate, then you might not want to do that. You could build up to it. You could bait into it. Like I'm saying, like, oh my God, you're turning me on. Jesus Christ, fuck, what am I going to do? But the first text you send is a joke, and it's a dick pic. Man, if you're that brazen, like I said, I didn't do this with everybody, but when I did do it, it was usually the situation was, fun and partying. I was joking about something. I'm a pretty sexual guy, so surely I was talking about sex, but I'd be like, what's up? Or, hey, this is my middle finger, and then send a picture of my dick, right? And they're like, what the fuck? They're offended. Just be, sorry, I got a bad sense of humor. All my girlfriends are strippers. Sorry, I put you in that category. Just joking. Anyway, what are you doing? So then I build a normal dialogue after that. Normal dialogue. Could have a normal dialogue for 2 weeks, but usually I'd like to go quicker than that. Have a normal dialogue for 3-4 days. Hey, let's meet up. Let's meet up. We meet up. One of the first things is one of the best things I know about sexual texting, phone sex, anytime you get sexual that isn't actually having sex. Anytime you actually get sexual that's stepping over the line too, even if you did have sex. But you're meeting again for the first time in a social setting, you barely know this person, do not bring up sex. Act totally normal. They will bring it up. They will bring it up. And it's the best part. So it's like, hey, we're going to meet up for coffee and donuts. You meet up for coffee and donuts or whatever your date is. Get the date guide. Excellent examples of different dates to do. And you're talking, and they'll go, man, I was second guessing you when you sent me that pic. That was totally fucked up. I was like, oh man, geez. And then now it's the time to get sexual. You could joke about it. You could joke about your dick, but you could be like, you know what? But you're fucking hot. Like, goddamn, man, you're hot. And whatever. I'm just a crazy guy that has that sense of humor. All you have to do is get back to your place, her place. You'll have the normal levels of resistance, but man, you will fuck. Dude, there was a time, this is fucking crazy, man. The relationship that I'm in now, we met, you've seen the video of it. There are 2 guys talking that were with her, that were hooking up with her. When I met her, they're trying to get me out of the conversation. She agrees to go on a date with me. What did I do in between that time? She actually said, I'm Facebook stalking you. And later what she told me is my Facebook shit was too fucked up and she almost wasn't going to meet me, but whatever. This is what it always says, like, I almost wasn't going to meet you. So many times that gets said to me. And so I said, I'm going to Facebook stalk you. And this was when you could record videos. So this is what I did, man. Before I just met her. I just met her at a cafe. We can't go on a date for another 5-6 days. So what do? I said, I'm Facebook stalking you. And I put the phone on video, put it on her Facebook profile on my computer, and then started jerking off and blew my load. And as she tells me, she's like, dude, she says, I still have that video. It was fucking awesome, but I almost didn't see you because of it. But the fact that she did see me, dude, of course she's going to fuck me. Of course she's going to have sex with me. It has to be. It is one of the best tools to get sexual. Like if you put sex on the table and she goes, oh my God, that's offensive. I'm not going to touch her. That's too fucking hot. That's fucked up. And you take it off the table and you can still get her to sit down there and eat with you, she will fuck you. It will have to be sexual. You still have to put in some work. You can't just sit back and relax. But man, that's why it's one of the best things to do is like get sexual first. What do you do when you first meet somebody? You touch them. You touch as you open. Why? Because it's a good starting place. She may not like it. She may back away. It doesn't mean that touching's bad. It doesn't mean she doesn't like touching. It means that in that situation, she didn't like it. But you could always go back to it. Okay? Why do I always tease sexually? I always sexually tease. Whenever I meet somebody and I'm hitting on them, I'm like, oh my God, you're one of those prude girls. Like, geez, I bet the porn in your phone is like a bunch of old people or something. God, man. How do you stay active with that? You're going to like get dry skin. Fuck, you know what they say about women that masturbate wrong is they have to wear like glasses for the rest of your life. Is that what happened to you? Or whatever, you just joke about it, right? Now, some people may not like that. They may be offended by it. Do you actually think that those people don't like sex? Do you think that they don't like joking about sex? No, they just don't like it in that public of a setting. So you got to figure out the right way to do it. But I guarantee you they like it. But guess what? Because I put it on the table, realized it was bad, had another conversation, means I could go back to it when we do have the appropriate time. So that being said, you got to learn how to send a dick pic, learn the different ways of doing it. Make sure your dick's hard. You can do the dick coming thing. I told a guy, one of my friends, like he was so in with this girl, he fucking sent he was so afraid to send the dick pic. This is a real sexual dude. He sends a dick pic after he blew his load and his dick is limp. And then the girl like made fun of him for it. And he felt all terrible about it, which he still could have got it, but he got all butthurt about it. But I was like, dude, that's not what I told you to do. It's not what I told you to do. You can do all sorts of fucking things. You could write their name on it. Maybe this is for you or whatever. Dude, fucking have fun with it. You know, let's say you go back to Mandy and you go like, Mandy, and you fucking write with a pen, Mandy on your dick, and you fucking hold it hard. Man, Jesus Christ, man. Show that to her. To say, this is what I did in art class. Make it a joke. Make it something where, and it doesn't have to be. You know, and where I found is if you buffer before it, you know, it's like, oh my God, you're turning me on. That's cool. Or if it's the first thing that you do, man, awesome. Other thing is if you make it when it's came, or you say this cum is for you, Jesus Christ, it's awesome. So I don't get it, man. People always say they don't like the dick pic. You're listening too much to women who are pissed off about it. I get it. There's plenty of wrong ways to do it. There's plenty of bad experiences that come from it. But Jesus Christ, man, do women a favor. Let them like dick. Learn how to do it in the right way. And fuck, man, just like be artful about it. Have fun with it. Don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. Don't think just because you did it and somebody harps on you that you're some bad, horrible dude. You're a dude I mean, really, this is how you should think about it, is that you're not ashamed of being a sexual guy. That doesn't mean you assault people with it, but it's just a dick. God, how many times has your dick gotten hard in your life and it gets sheltered from the fucking world? Like, man, you just let it have some light. You know, it's Groundhog's Day. It peeked its head up over the hole. Good times. All right. Dick pic. Do it. Learn how to do it. If you fuck up at it, learn how to recover from it. And just remember, if you put sex on the table, you have to take it off. All you have to do is keep them at that table and just find another way to get sexual. Super, super good stuff. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, wherever you're at, iTunes, Stitcher, or on YouTube. And definitely check them all out because it's all cool and you can check out the links below. But the most important link is the TSL link itself, thesexuallife.com/145. Go there, download the latest quick guide. It's amazing, man. It's fucking badass, man. It is badass. It's for free. You just enter your email and all that sort of good stuff, and it's good to go. In any case, Steve Maeda signing off. Thank you so much for supporting this, and we will talk to you